Senator Marsha Blackburn is a favorite of our audience, and she joins me often to talk politics and policy. But today we got to talk about her state, which got hammered by Hurricane Helene, as did western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. Good morning, Senator. How are conditions on the ground in Tennessee this morning?
Well, good morning. And yes, it is a difficult situation that we have. Our team has been all over the Upper East Tennessee area and visiting with these command centers in these counties that were impacted and working with the county mayors, the EMA directors, the 9/11 directors, county sheriffs. And the Tennessee National Guard has been amazing and incredible. They've gotten food and water and medicine into stranded areas. And on Saturday, Governor Lee, our TDOT director, our TEMA director, Congresswoman Harshbarger, and I were able to go with the Guard and surveil the damage. And prior to that, on Friday evening, the governor was able to get his emergency declaration request into the White House. I followed with the congressional delegation with our support of that, and by 9:30 Friday night, we were able to get that approved at the White House and get that presidential declaration and get FEMA on the ground to work with TEMA and to work with all of our first responders who have been absolutely fabulous. And we're continuing to work. And Hugh, anyone that is listening to you, if they have someone that is missing, they cannot find, they can call an 800 number. It is 800 TBI find. That's the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. And they've set this 800 number so that people can call 1-800-TBI find.
I wrote that down, Senator. I'll give that a couple more times. 1-800-T as in Tom, B as in boy, I as in investigate-find, 1-800-TBI-find. Because I know there are like 1,000 people still missing.
That's right. And we're trying to get internet service into these areas. I think Starlink has opened up over some of these areas. We've got areas like Roan Mountain and Elk Mills over in Carter County where some of these communities are only reachable by helicopter. So we are continuing to work feverishly. As I said, we have worked all weekend on this, and we will continue to work to get supplies to help with rescue, with recovery, and then, of course, we will move into rebuilding these wonderful communities.
Senator, I've been telling people if they want to help, they can go to the Salvation Army. Of course, we'll be there, but also teamrubiconusa.org. They actually bring the chainsaws and they clean up. I've never seen some pictures like this. When you went out and surveyed the damage, had you ever seen anything like that in Tennessee?
I have never seen anything like this anywhere. Never. I mean, there are whole areas that are just gone. They washed into the river. Schools, hospital, the Unicoi County Hospital, where, and we thank Virginia and Governor Youngkin. They sent some helicopters to get people off the roof of the hospital. And it has been really quite an effort of rescuing people. And, you know, Hugh, it's important to realize not only is there no electricity, there's no water. And many of these communities, the water treatment plants have been flooded. So this makes the situation even more dire.
Now, you have a good friend in Tom Tillis, of course, your colleague in Tennessee, Senator Haggerty, but Tom is next door in North Carolina. They got hammered, too. Northern Georgia got hammered. I just don't think anyone expected Helene to do this. Did anyone from the Hurricane Center alert you that it would go that far north, that fast, that furious?
No, we did not expect this to come up. Senator Budd from North Carolina, he and I talked yesterday afternoon, and of course, no one expected this type flooding. We all expected rain, but we did not expect this kind of extreme flooding. And I think it caught a lot of people by surprise with the amount of flooding, the raging water. I've just never seen anything like it, where the river is so far out of its banks and raging so furiously that, well, that's like the situation at the hospital. They couldn't use boats to rescue people because they could not get the boat in the water because the water was too swift.
Now, I understand the I-40 was also closed in parts. Do you expect...
That's correct. We've got a part of I-40, it's on the North Carolina side, that is closed. You also have a portion of I-26 that is closed. In addition to that, you have some other bridges and roads that have completely washed out. And as the water begins to recede, then they'll be able to more accurately handle those assessments as to what is passable and begin that process of rebuilding and getting some of these resources in for people, cell towers, things of that nature. And Starlink has opened up, as I said, over some of these areas, which is allowing people to have internet connectivity and be able to reach loved ones.
I want to give that number again, 1-800-TBI-FIND, 1-800-T as in Tom, B as in boy, I as in Ivan, dash, FIND, 1-800-TBI-FIND. Senator, last question in terms of the National Guard. I don't know how many National Guardsmen Governor Lee activated, but we thank them and their families that they left behind who are probably struggling as well. Do you have any idea how many Guardsmen are out there working?
You know, I do not know. I saw some of them Saturday as we were surveilling, and our Adjutant General for the Guard here, General Ross, was with the governor and I as we conducted these surveys on Saturday. And I tell you what, Tennesseans do what Tennesseans always do. They volunteer, they help their neighbor, and the Guard is a big part of that.
It's called the Volunteer State for a reason. I thank you for joining me this morning to put the word out. Again, anyone who's listening, you can call if you're missing someone, 1-800-TBI-FIND. If it's in Tennessee, I don't know the number in North Carolina. I do know the tri-state area has needs, Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina, maybe even a little bit of Virginia. If Governor Youngkin was sending you helicopters, maybe they're coping better over in Virginia. But thank you, Senator. I appreciate you taking the time to join me and give me an update this morning.
Thank you so much. Take care.